Feel inspired with the beautiful shots of Chengdu, as you would if you were a V5 fan here in our series. Game number 1 was all theirs. It was control, control, control. It was brains, brains, brains. It was initiative. It was inspiration here from V5 Ryze.
Just pure unmitigated side laning.
Yeah, a lot of it.
I just love to hear it,
Yeah.
right? I felt like from Victory 5, the way they handled not only just the lane matchups to begin with, not a lot of people will have, a discussion about that because it just doesn't awe the fans.
Yeah.
It's not something that'll just be put on like a highlight package, but I mean, it's something that will get you the early game advantage.
Yep.
Keep it consistent, and then you find yourself on side lanes, and Zoe's like, I guess I can't wait till I have to go top lane. I felt a lot of the time OMG was just on the back burner because of that.
Yeah, they really were. That whole game, V5 controlled up until the Baron point or up until a couple of picks off for OMG. But in terms of V5, MVP time, throw it up on the screen.
I actually don't remember who it is.
Can I get a drum roll?
Boom!
I was about to say.
Yes! I'm a very pessimistic person. So
Yeah.
I said I want to see the cat Max get it. Whenever it's the support that's just supposed to be there and heal and all that, not a lot of people will give him the love.
Yeah.
Finally, the cat gets the love. So congratulations on Max on that one. A lot of the team fights were literally won by him, by the way.
Good reason. Those ultimates were sick. Like, the final chapter, all it takes is 3, and you're stuck in place.
You say ultimates, and that's true. For me, it's more so the fact that like timing and being able to save your own allies.
Yep.
Funny enough, one of the stats we kept getting were like ability to save allies. It's like one of those things where it's like, did you receive a certain amount of shielding or healing that was, was needed, or else he would have died in a situation, which is very specific, by the way. He did that and then more. He would have just blown the charge for that one.
Broken the stats.
So for a lot of the team fights, we'll start throwing it at the fine gentlemen out there, women and gentlemen out there. I'm sorry for that one. Take a look at these fights. This was largely dominated by the fact that, of course, once again, Victory 5 were able to dictate the flow of the fights. This was when they lost Baron, but ultimately were able to save out, get pressure once again through mid, because OMG just funneled straight through the mid lane. They didn't send anyone out top lane or bottom lane to deal with the wave. They're like, all right, group and team fight.
Yeah.
You got to see this. And for me, this was the purpose of why the cat himself got that freedom on that one. He saves Lee Sin with the extra bit of shielding and healing, was able to keep AD carry alive for a little bit longer. I think that was also in tandem with the karma as well, so a lot of times it's very difficult to be able to see who ended up getting it. But for me, Max was the only reasonable individual in a skirmish like this.
Yeah.
When you see skirmishes like this and you look between both sides, you're like, well, I guess there was one more member that was alive from Victory 5 at the end of it, and I'm not too sure if that kick was even really effective, but he was able to save his jungler in that situation just by being able to tag on top of him, give him the heal and the speed boost to just jump right out.
I mean, he got the backwards ultimate as well. That was just so impactful.
There was a lot of great things from this. I keep wanting to say Nico, and you had that whole, yes, I know.
My best tweet in a month.
You don't tweet that well. But yes, Yuumi was able to accomplish so much this game.
Yeah, it really was. So good to see Max back on that support. Second time playing the Yuumi. It's been Nautilus for the support, where for someone like Hudie, that's exactly what it was about in that first game.
Yes.
Because with Hudie, you're like, well, he's caught out again.
Not much you can do as a Nautilus, especially if
hard.
your team game plan is always to push through mid, right?
Yes.
If your team's like, all right, get your head out there, but there's a guillotine up. It's like, I don't feel comfortable. It's like, don't worry, it's decommissioned. There's no such thing as a decommissioned guillotine. It's like, you just have to cut the string.
Yeah.
And it felt like for this game, they always set them up to fail.
Yeah, it really was a story of like how OMG tried to pull themselves back into that game. After game number 1, what are you thinking about? It's a great reference, by the way. I'm thinking OMG coming into the second game, a lot's got to change, because how that game was set up was the lane swap seemed to be the bearer of bad news.
Coming into this series, I said I didn't like not so much the compositions, but the pick and ban from OMG. Because for a team that is so flexible through both mid laner and top laner, you wouldn't have known it. Because they are so dead focused on having Icon play his assassins or just specific champion, right?
Yes.
He's always a good example of that. And they're so dead focused on Curse being able to play his champion pool as well, that the flex never happens. And you ultimately find themselves being put in bad lane matchups so consistently. Now, the last game, I'm going to say Zoe's not a bad lane matchup. She got a good lane. But my concern was that, well, guess what? Sylas is going to go top lane.
Yeah.
Like, these lane advantages that you initially had no longer exist when the mid game strikes, and that was the only good matchup that existed on the field. Both bottom lane and top lane were also suffering from OMG. I just want them to have not only a good bottom lane, just matchup, if that's what they want, unless if they as a team, this is sad that I don't even know it yet, because I don't think the team has been able to show it so consistently. Is your bottom lane a weak side bot? Are they the Invictus Gaming of saying that, Battleline and Jagular will not get the pressure, it will go top side consistently? Because for this team, sure, they've been rotating a lot of their bottom lanes around, but it seems like it's been so inconsistent of where the pressure goes after Icon. After Icon gets his pressure and he's free, then where do you go?
Yeah.
Because Curse at times has been playing really tanky champions and have been playing, on the weekend of things. And that's not necessarily bad, but for a team that is not finding success, but has an exceptional talent in the top lane of Curse, I would say you need to start giving him more pressure. That's the game plan I would love for them to have. But of course, they haven't been putting them in that position.
I mean, I'd be curious as to whether it's the rotation of Yehan coming in, that whether some of this priority has been mixed, whether the inconsistencies as to whether that bot side is the strong side or the weak side is also because Kane's coming in as well. So you can put a lot on the roster changes here for OMG, but you can't put everything on it.
My God, look at him. He's just so impassioned about, there's a smile. Okay, it's not bad. I thought there was like an argument. It's like, pick me this champion, goddammit. Sylas is good up until 9.12. Anyways, though, back to your point. I'm just so enamored with a lot of the attitude coming in for some of the players. That's something that I love to see whenever, the players come back onto the field. How excited, or at least how focused is the losing team coming into this? Yeah. You still see good, ultimately a good environment and pressure for OMG. A lot of the times, I'm really sad when I see OMG after game one. Because after a game one loss, OMG is usually, they look very down. Not focused, because focus and down is completely different, right? Yeah. But they just look visibly upset. And I think that you don't want that to be carrying over from game one to game two. I don't see it for OMG, which is 100% a good thing.
You're looking at a Curse just before, and he's the one who was smiling. So it's good to see the fresh young talent on OMG that are kind of revitalized, ready to get into game number 2. Further to your point about how they play around Curse and putting more resources to the top lane, Curse has a very wide champion pool, so if he has to play weak side or if they want to play towards the strength, they can do it. Yes. Right.
But we need to stop having the discussion of what can you do and what should you do.
And what they will do, because they should do it.
Well, you're complicating a very simple process.
All right, Ryze, I'll bring you back. You were right. I was wrong.
Oh, wait a minute.
Sorry, go on.
This is the discussions we have all the time.
All the damn time. I'm just like, well, I'm just going to confuse us more. So bring us back to square one. And what you were saying, what they should do.
Because for me, if you have a talent that you can abuse, right? And I'm just talking about abusing a matchup, abusing a skill difference. For me, top lane should be the lane. Yeah. I think that was what they were kind of walking away from last split. Because we always have the discussion of Ale versus Curse, and people will say right now that Curse is looking figuratively like right now better. Yeah. But they still had great talent, great rookie talent between two splits, and oftentimes they're actually playing weak side away from them. Yeah. And you don't want to have a Fiora top laner being like, all right, guys, where's my jungler? Yeah. It's like, is this my life, guys? Because there's 3 people top lane.
Part of walking away from Shelly and 5 is that, okay, now you can actually play in different elements of OMG.
Yes. And so for me, that has been something that I think OMG should utilize a little bit more. If you're thinking peak OMG, and I'm not talking about peak OMG with going and your Loveland and all that. I'm talking about in the last year and a half, when Sean P was on the field and he had his Ashe ults that just were cross map, hitting everybody. Yeah. They didn't get any pressure. No jungler came by. They just were living like kings. That's the OMG. Let's do this every game, guys. But that hasn't been the case, and I want to be able to see what Kane and Hudie can provide. And if they get majority of the pressure, I just want to see what the style OMG comes in with game 2.
You'd say at least we're at the start of the split, but we're walking towards week 5. This is the end of week number 4. So for OMG, a much-needed win here in this series. A much-needed win in the series itself. Let's get into game number 2, because a very different pick and ban once again with the Karma ban first. OMG rotate back to the Rek'Sai.
Olaf is still up and available, which is why I question the Rek'Sai a little bit, but it just goes to show that OMG is taking a different stance. They're just saying, we want a ganking jungler, a jungler that's on the field early, and we want to save our lane so we can get good lane matchup. This is actually just completely different from what you had in game 1. It's a different mentality. They took the Karma, Yuumi, and Sona off the field. Get these goddamn healing enchanter supports off of me.
left so much open
Ardent Sensor has been cancelled.
Yeah.
Fight me.
Now, the Lux is still open, Ryze, so I'm not going to put that out there just yet. But for 9-11, remember that the Ryze is still in a very good place. So we're not seeing 9.12 Ryze here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
it's
Rude
the best
Prison
flex.
is an actual prison. It's not called Empowered Room Prison. No, just pressing W actually holds someone still. So that's something that I love. It's the first time we're behind in a patch, and I actually enjoy it.
Yes.
So it's like, remember that whole discussion that happened on Reddit? I don't know. A lot of people that can catch it, but it was like, have you guys ever thought about, this is what they ask the Riot programmers, just people out there, and be like, hey, you guys gonna have the classic League of Legends mode where you're able to play like Season 2 and Season 3 or something like that.
Oh, that Ryze is disgusting.
Yes. But my point is that
Sorry,
now the LPL competitive feels like that if we're talking about a global perspective. You can look at a Ryze and Sylas pick and be like, yeah, that's doable.
It's really good. And everyone else thinking different thoughts, but not here in the LPL. In Game 2, remember, Kennen's still a big priority here in this region as well, across many different regions too. So OMG picking this up early.
Yeah, it's going to be a top laner. We're not FPX here where you just decide that the Kennen on a whim could be going to the mid lane.
Yep.
Can make it a great, great wave clear with the Sivir, great team fighting with, potential Kennen flanks, and should have a great ultimate laning phase. Just want to see, though, because remember, Victory 5, if I remember correctly, was the team that brought the Olaf to the top lane. I'm scratching my memory, but at the end of the day, I know that the Olaf top lane was the direct response to the Kennen and Ryze.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that's what it's going to be, because Olaf is going to be a jungler by any means by any sense of the imagination.
Yeah.
But that option, I'm going to throw that in your face.
Could have been WE as well. I'm not sure.
No, it's not.
Test that back.
It's not.
Okay. All right.
Don't even say that.
I'm definitely checking that after this game.
You just said the team that it exactly wasn't.
Well, I'm going to grant you some time because of V5 here. Seeing the Sylas locked in once again. Remember that Mole played top last game. They can still position between as they've done before. So great use of the flexes here for V5 once again in game number 2. And they've started to ban away some of the key iconic matchups like the Nico and the Zoe away from OMG.
Putting themselves in a great position for a 1-3-1 once again Victory 5. Like Victory 5 with the Sylas and Ryze. Let's just say an example, if OMG ends up putting themselves in a Gunblade Kennen situation where they can answer to Sylas on side lane, then you still have a Ryze that will run roughshot versus just about every champion in the meta. So Victory 5 have a great amount of options here once they get into the mid game.
So position yourself down towards the bottom side now. That's the train of thought. And we're just going in pick order here, it seems, for V5 because the Varus getting picked up for Y4 before we see what their support's going to be. Take a second thought, though, because for OMG, what we talked about in the bottom side, where Kane, first game, the Sivir, looked pretty exceptional, but the rest of OMG continued falling behind. Some small elements there for OMG. Now the bottom side looks to be stronger.
I think a Morgana pick is a great trap against Victory 5. Take a look at the squad, and you don't see a lot of engage points. Maybe you look towards Sylas to say, good luck. You have Kennen ultimate now. Like, get the job done. And it seems like they're going to be reliant on that alongside the Varus ultimate.
Yep.
But if we're just talking about full committal engage to allow your team to follow up with you, it's a little difficult. So their support's going to be holding the majority of that burden. So if you recognize that Max is in a position where he has to pick engage supports, he doesn't even have the option to any of the enchanters.
Yep.
Lock in that Morgana.
All right, what's it going to be? Now, I've pulled up the Lux
Oh, give it to me.
The Taric here.
Oh, he's just trying to play with us. 15 seconds left, and he's instilling fear.
That's Max on your screen as well. He's having a gaggle.
Hell yeah.
Tahm.
Throw as many champions. Hover the pike. No, hover more supports.
There it is. Tahm, Kench, whether you like it or not.
All right. That's just great bottom lane priority.
Yep.
So if we're just talking about how Victory 5 is picking for winning lanes, bottom lane is 100% been the case.
Yep.
I think they have to concern themselves with the push potential there from Sivir and Morgana, so that can turn on a dime. But I love the fact that Victory 5 have picked up a pretty damn good combination. Remember, Kennen comes in a flank and can't really deal with the Varus because Tahm Kench is there just to save him. Has healed, remember, triple teleport there for Victory 5 too. So a lot of protection on the bottom side of the map.
Also remember, if the Varus sees you first, that's Chains of Corruption out and you don't move anywhere. So a lot of denial here from V5 as well. And the fact that we see the Varus from Y4, the fact that we see a different AD carry, once again speaks his volume. Because this split already, he's got quite a wide champion pool himself, and it's good to see that that bottom lane becomes a priority here for V5, but also the side lanes continue to play with the flexible picks once again here in Game 2. Just keeps on happening, Ryze. Just don't understand. You can't predict Mole, you can't predict Windy. And this time it will be Mole on the rise. It'll be Sylas into the top lane for Windy, but that does not mean they're in the top and mid respectively.
Yeah, we'll see when we get into the game. But there is one fact, guess on that player or team that had the Olaf top lane. Even though I'm the one that put you in this situation, I'm gonna have you guess.
Yeah, well, I've accidentally seen the screen, Raz.
No!
I'm sorry.
Eyes off the prize.
Well, I was looking and I was like, oh, well, I should have known this as well because the stat I pulled up because I cast every one of their games.
Yep. Chalitza from Vici Gaming.
Yep.
We'll never see that Olaf again, but he slammed that Ryze.
Hey, he's on a perfect KDA with that Olaf, Raz.
You're right.
So maybe one time soon. You don't get to see it in this game. Unfortunate maybe, but Ben4, one of his most played champions so far in the summer 2019 split. So you're going to see a reckoning here onto Yihan. And a reason why Olaf came into succession is because that dominance over the Rek'Sai can be pretty brutal. See if Yihan can get ahead, find windows here for OMG, and not try to get shut out like game number 1 here as we go into number 2 against OMG and V5. The thing is, we're not even getting OMG and V5 chance. Just out the window into LGD here in Chengdu.
Mute their mics.
Somebody's listening.
Oh my
To be fair, that
God.
was actually the V5 chance, so. They're reckless.
Yeah, they
Absolutely reckless
Yeah.
here today.
You know, OMG, consistently known as the bad boys, but
Ooh.
they have put 2 wards on their camp. So the Raptor camp, we've had a discussion on how effective that is, but what do you want to say?
Curse has Electrocute.
That's true.
Sorry, you're talking about wards, but I'm just... Man, there's Electrocute Kennen in the top lane for Curse.
Get
So
in his face.
break this down a little further, Raz, because
Well-
you got a lane swap again from V5.
Look, I'm going to talk about what is the far more effective one, which is the wards first.
Okay, go.
Because, yeah, you decided you're going to throw that in my face. But Rek'Sai starting bot side. There are 2 camps that he can go to. It's either Krugs or Raptors. Now, Raptors is the one that a lot of people will just be happy with that ward because if you don't take Raptors, then you have 2 chances. You can either go towards Krugs, or you can take the long way around to the Wolf camp and just decide to not take that Raptor and avoid the ward. Victory 5 have put him in a position where you can't avoid the ward. They have literally warded both of your red side camps. You're going to show on one of them or have 0 experience. So I think that's a lot. It's very intelligent. The risk is that you take 1 ward out of your support on the bomb side of the map, so you can't like ward the bush itself. But they're getting shoved in anyway, so they didn't necessarily need it. But to your point, Electrocute.
Yeah, go for it.
So that's a melee champion up top lane, and he's gonna still, like, if he's ever in the just a skirmish that Electrocute's being utilized by Windy, he wants to at least respond with it. He does need to be able to use E to be able to get into the thick of things.
But going into Mole, very different story, Raz, because
it's the Ryze!
Yeah, remember, we can't look at... They haven't changed it yet.
I don't think he's ever gonna use it versus Ryze.
Okay.
Ryze is a much better matchup, so.
Sure.
It's a good idea that Ryze is actually going top lane, and it makes the Electrocute farm less effective.
This is so sneaky, though, because Ben4's been spotted out going into the blue side jungle. They have a track on Yihan, but they lost sight of him. Mole now coming down as well.
Oh my God, he's surrounded.
Yihan thought he had the upper hand. He'll walk on in, but he's slow to the blue buff, so achieves nothing from the play, while Ben4, even spotted out, still gets the advantage.
That just says a lot about the discipline of the Ryze.
That's early.
Of being able to support and follow his jungler for that one. Because a lot of the times they will either kind of hover over, but then come back into the lane so they can either continue on the harass or like consistently shove in the wave. Yep. Because he didn't do that, the wave's going to be a little bit more in favor of Curse. But he sacrificed a little bit to be able to go in and help. Icon.
There might be an opportunity for Yihan to come in. Remember, Olaf's nearby. Flash burnt out. Ben4's there. Icon with the Valkyrie kept in hand, so Ben4 won't be able to get much more.
Yeah, Windy does need to go back to base, though, not having much mana to his name. Any, for that matter. But good timing on Yihan. Legitimately had to flash away from that one. So Windy now, who was going all in based off that trade, he's going to have to think twice. Rek'Sai will have his flash timer on him.
Teleport available for both mid laners here. Icon hasn't burnt his just yet, but it'll be to the turret while Windy able to get the shove out on lane before he returns. V5 bottom side priority now. So this is going to be a double scuttle crab for Ben4.
Oh my god, take a look at Icon's inventory. So these are very easy to resell. Like, just both the Rejuve bead and the Fairy Charm actually are very efficient, and we're just talking about resale value. He has gone so far on towards, like, regen, keep in lane, don't get poked out, and be able to get your, you know, procs and extra bit of gold off of the, what is it called again? Always really struggle with the Cull. There we go. So he able to get through the lane pretty easily. So that's been his goal. Get through the lane no matter what, especially after he was nearly killed in that skirmish.
Means that he should have a little bit of extra sustainability in this trade, but Windy going back, he's picked up Doran's Ring, Dark Steel, so there's a difference here that Windy's going to be more effective in this 1v1 matchup.
Exactly. So it always comes down to literally the gold efficiency that Icon's trying to aim just to be able to keep in lane for as long as possible. But now that he doesn't have teleport, remember, it comes down to if he takes that bad trade.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened as of yet. You know, of course, didn't have much time since coming back to the lane itself. But if he gets ganked, things turn out really poorly, then you saw what is Windy has far more effective team skirmishing. And it might turn a dime on Icon.
He's in a good position as well in this lane because Max has started to make the roam. Ben4's nearby and Yihan just coming back from his bottom side while Hudie making the same roam. So we're about to see an all-in the mid lane that's slowed down. Ignite down. Actually, we're continuing it on forward. Windy's picked himself up a couple of rockets in his back pocket while Ben4 walks on forward. Hudie with a good black shield, but nothing really comes of it while Hudie's still mid lane.
Smart from OMG to take a second thought and back up a little because Max came in recognizing he can allow Windy to take that trade. Windy didn't have flash. That was crucial. If he goes in for a fight just like last time, you know, OMG's thinking, oh, great, let's take that fight. We get a free kill.
Yep. But
the Tahm Kench was there. Ben4 was there. They were aware of that and suspecting of the jungler being there alongside Tahm Kench. Didn't take that bait.
Cool to see the engage come through, though, as V5 start up the Dragon, but still taking aggro. Y4 coming up because bottom lane priority goes to V5. They've now got river control as well, but a ward down means OMG still looking to contest.
I always despise taking Ocean Dragon early because while it is overpowered 6 minutes into the game, and it makes your lane so strong, if the enemy team is contesting, you're getting slowed by that thing pretty consistently.
And it's hitting fast. Yihan going over the wall, though. Choice. I guess it was the wrong one as V5 get the Dragon anyway.
They held off on bursting it. Tricked Yihan thinking, I can come in now as they're... Oh, no.
Burns the flash immediately.
I thought they were going to try and look for the fight on that one, but they didn't even want to entertain that thought. Icon didn't have any mana to his name, so he was in a pretty bad position.
Doesn't want to be caught out by the Olaf here because the Olaf is so far ahead right now. 15 CS with the longsword. And Ben4 being in such a good position can now visit the bottom lane, look to pressure further. Y4 and Max getting closer to that level 6 lockdown.
Olaf has so much to work off of, too. Not only just the experience lead that you're referencing to, but look at his blue side jungle completely up. Top side as well, but he's going to get this gank off first.
Now they want to burst the spell shields first. Hudie puts out the black shield. The Ragnarok comes on down, or rather the smackdown as Hudie almost receives one from Y4. Good piercing arrow out from the bottom lane. Ben4 set packing as well.
Yeah, but you couldn't just pierce through the black shield. And that gank costed Olaf a little bit there. Good job on Yihan to be able to have that red buff timing. Be able to at least even up a little bit. Maybe he goes for the Krugs, please do. They're just waiting on his E cooldown, I'm assuming.
Yep.
No, it's up. It's up. No, maybe he's trying to go for the dive.
Oh, he sees the roam coming through, though. So maybe waiting for that instead. Icon has package, so a lot more flexibility across the map for OMG as they're going to find Windy into this top side now. Puts himself out with the ultimate from Rek'Sai himself, but Windy caught out in a bad position, and that's what they were waiting for from OMG.
Such a smart position from Yihan, because trying to figure out what he was trying to do. The safe play is go for Krugs. He saw that wave starting to crash up top lane, but take a look at this.
Spell shield's a little bit late. Chains of Corruption lands, and Y4 just takes him out. Too easy here for the AD carry. Hudie late to the party.
Playing with vision. Didn't see what was happening in that bush, and certainly didn't see him out around the corner. Y4 and Max getting a real rapport together.
Yeah.
Whenever Y4 is playing with PYL back in the LGD days, I was like, this lane is starting out real good.
Yeah.
Y4's laning phase has been a real solid, you know, identity for him. It's only getting stronger, as you can see in this game.
Doing exactly what we expected to in this lane. A lot of poke coming through, and now with a kill, heightens even more. Yeehan on the other side, top side now, the roam for OMG in fruition as there's going to be the Prey Seeker locking on down with the ulti curse. Doesn't go near turret, but locks him down before he can get in the Realm Warp. Mole taken down, Y4 TP's top. The lane swap now on the menu.
Yeah, almost tried to help him out. Of course, the Kennen ultimate's going to be able to snare, stun that is, the Ryze so he can get out of that situation. That was the initial play Yeehan wanted to go for. Find a second chance on that one. It's just so easy to be able to get that kill. That's the issue that Ryze has in those situations.
Done a very good job of being active. Yeehan's still so far behind in CS, but with these assists added into it, with now getting his lanes ahead, OMG have windows to work through. Even Kane and Hudie able to push this lane back as we see the turret rush top versus bot. V5 trying to get the maximum out of the jungle too. Yeah,
this was a situation and position that Victory 5 put themselves in. Now, putting yourself on the top side of the map at 10 or 11 minutes is standard.
Yep.
He did it really early on before a bot side push, so it's pretty unnatural now. I don't even think they're going to have... I know our observer's not looking at the turret HP, but right now Y4 has a long way to go while the bottom side of the map has been at it for a while now.
Might be about Curse holding this turret, goes into stasis. Max still wants to make the dive with Y4, but in the bottom lane, same for same, it seems, with Mole into Yeehan. Hudie under turret. Oh, mistake from OMG. Even the flash there from Kane on the hunt. Stolen by Windy. He chains on. He locks him down as well. Yeehan going to get the support from Icon coming in, but flash there from Windy. Now for Yeehan, locked on down. Mole finds another. This Ryze is punishing OMG as Icon's been caught on as well. Waits for the Valkyrie. He will escape, but V5 just fighting back massively.
Windy and Mole just smacked them. Crazy to be able to see that happen from the Victory 5 team, and it's only getting better from here.
It is, with Rift Herald on the mid lane. V5 turret plating, thank you onto the Olaf, they say. As Windy and Mole find another target. Icon this time's been caught out. Windy and Mole again, Raz.
You got yourself Batman and Robin right here in the LPL.
Oh, yeah.
They're not leaving each other. The resources are flying at them. Who the hell cares about minion waves? Give Y4 the whole damn turret plating.
He's been here for 4 minutes.
Oh, my God, he's been reaping a war. It's like having all that money, and you're just, what is it, the most riskiest investment you could possibly have. Come back, and it's just paying itself off. Right now, he is banking up in the top side of the map, while Windy and Mole have just been a dynamic duo with people just throwing themselves at him.
Yeah, Curse now comes to the bottom lane, expecting the party to continue, but OMG started here with Hudie underneath the turret.
Wow. That happened instantly.
Yeah.
They tried to set up for the dive, and he blew the wave away and snared the Morgana before she had a way to get up out of there. And of course, Windy comes through with a great teleport. Even better to be able to lock right back on towards Yeehan there too. So I don't think they're respecting the Ryze damage.
They're thinking it's 9.12 for Ryze. Wouldn't get stuck in place, just an ultimate slowdown.
I'm going to say this. There have been a few times in the LPL where we have been a patch behind.
Yep.
A lot of times, going to be honest. And whenever there's a huge change on a champion, that really messes with people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about resistances on Sejuani, and people like, I didn't think she was that tanky.
Yep.
Or in this instance, the immediate turn back. When all these players, by the way, they play on the Korean server. They don't even have to because recently the Chinese server has updated too. So Ryze has not been on the menu unless if you're playing competitive.
I remember seeing the Ardent Sensor patch and LPL still being on it while the rest of the world transitioned away. A lot of question marks there, but we're back into the live swing of things while V5 still pushing that limit and still looking consistent across the board.
And even with all that being said, for all you YouTube viewers or people who've clipped that situation, the jungler was taking a hell of a long time. Yep. I didn't even like that situation.
Oh,
here we
go. Can't avoid this one. Mole back into the Realm Warp, but Void that lands himself out with the Void Rush. Yeehan follows it at the right time, right place. Windy now jumps in once again, has the shackles to lock on down, finds Icon, will eventually walk away. Good trade-off by Windy, but in the end, OMG getting a small trade themselves.
Even better ultimate there from Rek'Sai to follow that Realm Warp.
Yeah.
Plays never stop happening. Curse,
Ragnarok
save
in the
yourself.
mid lane. Curse is going to ult, but it's not going to stop the Olaf as Max wants to follow it up. Flash burnt out of the cannon, and Kane even tries to join. Oh. Hello, Max. That's a flash on the hut. Pop. 1, 2. Get another lick. Get an undertow. That's going to be blocked away as well. Third strikes the charm, but V5 really wanted that kill.
Can he stop yelling?
Benful has been doing it a lot. It was Yeehan who smacked it down last game, so taunt battle continues here in the LPL.
So many pick opportunities now. What that means is At least Kane got himself out of there. But a lot of people expended their flash to make the play happen. For Victory 5, Ben 4 and Max not having flash, they were already primary targets from OMG to get picks.
Yep. They
weren't going to get a pick on Y4 as long as Max was in the area. Now it makes it easier to get the kill on Max, knowing that he can't get away with his flash.
At this point as well, remember that if you burn a couple of flashes for that
Wow.
play, you go, well, look at what V5's already achieved. And that was Y4, who's just kept knocking away on the top lane turret.
1,000 gold!
That's all he did. Had his time in the sun in that top lane.
That right there is the biggest check on the Rift.
Yes.
So, there we go.
It's a pay rise.
That was basically the BF sword that he got.
Yeah.
That's what he got.
I mean, it's almost 2-item Varus. What more do you want here from Y4? And for V5, every element under control once again. That's a comparison to the first game because you look at OMG's windows and they're once again falling short.
Yeah, just to make it clear for people right now, OMG are just so far behind at this stage in the game. And while that play on top of Ryze's head, they get back into the game based off of making picks. But the same situation stands.
Yep.
Turrets are up across the board for Victory 5. And then every time they look for a play, they don't chip down on turrets. So you're in a situation right now, if you're OMG, you need to make a significant damage where there isn't Victory 5 able to just go up there and defend a turret. Here we go, though.
So they're looking for one of those picks once again. Windy's going to get caught out. Void Rush taken, but destroyed before long. Icon gets a big shutdown, but for V5, this just means that Trigger gets pulled elsewhere.
No minion wave, so you might want to get out of there, Ben 4.
Eaten up by Max, slowed down just a little bit.
At least OMG is starting to claw back.
Yeah.
Picking the top lane, and of course, the Sivir consistently clearing through mid. So really, you need to find that one play, and I think this is going to be it.
On to Curse once again. Ragnarok going to get popped very early by Ben 4. He wants blood, but so do OMG in the mid lane. Chains of Corruption negated by the Black Shield. OMG still getting these small windows, but Y4 just hits them with one piercing arrow, and that's it.
That was an empowered one, of course.
Yep.
Have to use W for that one, which has a long cooldown, but that still does a lot. That's a stat check if I've ever seen one.
I'd like to see how much more it does when this BF sword turns
We're going to get
into
the
the
first
second item.
tower.
OMG. You're right, Raz. Here we go. But
we're getting back.
Still a 3k gold lead for V5, but it's good to see OMG making plays and being more proactive.
It is sad every single time it comes to OMG, they have to be able to claw themselves back rather than consistently have the leads. But there we go. Victory 5 group up, and they're able to take this one.
Mid turret open. Every outer turret now down. Only one inner remaining in the mid lane, or rather two in the top lane as well.
And it happens so quickly, too. Take a look at what OMG have to deal with. So many of their turrets are down. For any new team, it becomes harder for them once those turrets are down and there's no other objective to pick up. Naturally, Victory 5 are going to look at this and say, well, I guess we're just going to go to the next Ocean Dragon. That's going to be double Ocean. That's going to be great for us.
Yep.
But Baron doesn't spawn until 3 minutes from now. So really, OMG is just accruing as much farm as humanly possible, because it's not like they're going up against Invictus Gaming that are going to like consistently look for inner turret picks and dives and all that. They're unrelenting.
At this point as well for V5, you're looking at, right, when do we get our second item, power spikes? How does that affect OMG? Still in a lot of elements of control, while OMG themselves waiting for that Corki Infinity Edge, waiting for the Kennen to get what looks to be a Zhonya's Hourglass, so that Curse can start the fights and Icon can start pumping away and getting some advantages on the board.
There's so much gold. I'm talking about Varus, but he's going straight towards the Infinity Edge here. For the Varus, we have still been seeing the Guinsoo's Rage Blade being picked up, and of course, when it's not been the case, then we've been seeing more Phantom Dancer, but still the attack speed is so highly valued. But in this case, he's cashing. Guys went to the bank and said, why not pick one of the most expensive items out there?
Yeah.
Like, now he's going to be able to have that, and can go towards the attack speed a little later on. So this does help out just a little bit, because it's that raw 80 damage that you have, the piercing arrows that have been coming through. You saw the last one that was able to just burst through the pretty squishy lineup that OMG have to offer. Only going to get worse.
No armor on the side of OMG. Just scanning across right now, seeing what stat I can find, but no straight armor to negate this, i.e. doing any less.
They should not pick up armor when you're able to get out of that one with a flash.
Also true. Because
if you're going up against Victory 5, you're dealing with a Ryze, a Sylas. Like, that alone should be able to say Magic Resist, Hex Drinker up there, maybe even 2 Hex Drinkers. Surprised that Icon hasn't picked that one up, but he's been able to get through laning phase scot-free.
Yep.
But we're just talking about the damage that can come through from the Victory 5 lineup. Yeah, Y4 is going to be getting unrelenting damage, because no one should be really focused on the damage he's coming off with.
Very true. In the next fight, we'll see that Infinity Edge, which has just been picked up in action. But further to your point about the AP damage coming through, the Morellonomicon almost done for the Ryze in the mid lane. While for V5, hitting those item breakpoints.
He's got Seraphs.
That's fine.
He's got a stack.
Yeah, he does.
That's why he should never leave this lane. Same problem that happened in game 1 for OMG is only getting amplified here.
Curse gets a shove up. You can see that Yeehan just wanted something out of this lane, but at this point, with the Seraphs you mentioned done, I think Mole takes this handedly.
Yeah, don't stay down here. You know, if you look towards the clock, it's like as if, you know, Cinderella decide to stay until like 1 a.m. Like, just a little bit longer and then realize that, yeah, she's looking pretty bad. Because right now, OMG need to get some vision towards Baron buff.
Yeah.
That's going to be my major focus if I'm Victory 5. Mole, all he needs to do is push wave and then lean top. He recognizes that, but someone forgot to give that memo to OMG.
They've been here for so long. Yeehan just going to back away. He fell behind in the jungle long ago.
Oh, he just gave the walk around.
He did. They backed away.
Oh
Curse
my
coming
God.
back. Mole gets everything.
He's just the smartest man on the planet. Does he have a second monitor up there? Is he checking the stream?
He was looking at ProView.
That's not even a ProView thing, man. He's pulling the wound.
Oh, he's going to take the 1v1. Curse doesn't like this at all.
God.
Into the slicing Maelstrom, but flashed away. Mole's like, hey, Realm Warp, I'm coming. Wait for me.
So fast.
Curse only just survives. I think Icon could die here as well, but let's go into a 1v1. Mole now taking a bit of damage. We're not going to get the IE yet, but Icon has enough to sustain.
Oh my God.
Seraphs helps him survive. Icon has a big one. Sends it out to Mole. The Ryze hits back harder. Now Valkyrie away. I told you, you don't want to deal with Mole while V5 are doing the Baron.
Yeah, they were going to do the Baron no matter what. I'm just shocked that OMG weren't able to get anything off of this one. Here comes Hudie and Kane. They're coming in.
Two members down the bottom lane. Both the TPs out of this fight. They heal up, but V5 already get Hudie. Look at where Mole is. He comes back in. Now ready to go on Yeehan. Locks down the jungler. Here we go. What? Spreads like a disease again. The Ryze, it got nerfed for a reason. And Mole's about to show us. He wants into the 1v3. Finally dies, but at the cost of Baron, OMG won't be happy at that.
This Ryze was the most stacked man on the planet for the last minute. That minute and a half, don't cut a dang thing. If you were a highlight maker for this game in particular, you're just running that one non-stop.
Yep.
Bottom side pulled in 2 people. It was like he was running his own gauntlet, right? Who is going to be coming up next? Come out with your boxing gloves. Hell, you can have it bare-fisted and I'll take you down. And then this happens where he's able to buy so much time. Take a look at this nonsense that came through. Teleports over. Of course, Yeehan takes the challenge. I don't even know if he saw him. He didn't.
He just kept walking out.
He's like, get me out of here. Of course he's going to follow you. And at the end of the day, that's still 3 people coming to fight him at the same time. A handicap match. He ends up dying, but for a greater cause.
But when you two-shot the jungler like that, you keep walking forward. You don't walk away. So confidence out of the mid lane madman who, once again, continues to be this V5 identity that we keep raving about.
Mole is just right now the biggest boss on the planet.
Yeah.
Right now, he's 89% that the Colonel is projecting. If there was no Mole on the field, that's evaporating.
Yep.
It's not true, by the way. I'm just trying to
No, well, I can agree with you on that. That's okay. Max might be caught out here, though, Ryze. So far, OMG can they continue this on? Grey Health going to pop here. Chains of Corruption lands on Icon before the Black Shield. Almost spreads to Hudie and Yeehan, but Ben4 chasing this up. Mole back in once again. Takes on the side lane pressure onto Icon. He's like, which way do I go? Has to flash over the wall eventually. And V5 with the Baron buff. This is when the push begins with OMG burning so many summoners.
And it's happening so quickly. 22 minutes in the game. Icon is nowhere near his item break point.
Get out of it.
And he's just getting smacked at the moment.
Windy picks up a bit of a lashing, ready to lock down again. Mole left in the mid lane. 3 people here for him, Ryze.
Yeah, come at me.
Yeehan wants to take the Ryze. He doesn't commit. Curse has the ulti, but no flash. V5 might just end the game from the top side, while Hudie now into Windy. Binding for binding. Chain lash for chain lash. Y4 runs into a Corki. Come at me once again. As V5, they turn again. OMG into Curse. He finds a 3-man ulti, but Max devours. He turns a Grey Health, but not before dying. As Windy now in front of the turret once more. Yeehan doesn't exist, and Mo continues to run forward.
It's something about that Ryze skin that allows you to just run up like Faker, man. Look at him.
You don't care. Mole's chasing Yeehan. Eventually, you saw Yeehan got a trade-off, but the 2 biggest members are still alive for V5.
Yeah, they don't care about the wave that he ended up picking up. That's just going to be an easy inhibitor. At this moment in time, Victory 5 are cleaning house in Chengdu.
Smashing OMG. And if you had a thought about OMG being super competitive in this series, being so close, V5 have shut that down before we've even had a chance to look at the 3rd game.
in such a fast fashion as well. Whenever it comes to new teams coming in, and I'm just talking about these new young talent, Windy and Mole and all that, plays like these, this only happened because Ryze pulled in 3 people. First of all, that's never advisable.
Yep.
But if they couldn't even get the job done. He backed up and away, and he ended up joining them. So the only criticism I can levy is Max, of course, didn't get his shield up in time.
Yep.
Kane comes in for the assassination on Y4. Couldn't get the job done because Windy took him out. Mole wasn't even touched.
There's a triple kill there for Y4 as well. And he had his 3rd item long before, now onto his 4th. At this point, pointless for me to talk about items because the comparison against OMG is not there. And V5 just keep finding picks like Hudie, who's now locked down with the undertow. Black Shield dead and gone. Ben4 picks up the support, and OMG lambs to the slaughter at this point with V5 knocking down the other lanes.
Just take a look at the 80 carry items alone. About to go to Infinity Edge for Kane, and then Y4 is absolutely close to getting his double zeal.
Yep.
At this point, I'm expecting it's going to be a rapid-fire Kennen, and you just can't touch him at this stage. So he's already alone as like a solo force to deal with.
Interesting if we get there. Windy taking a slice of Maelstrom, that Chain Corruption missing. Window here for OMG. If Icon can get a good package, separate the team, and then we see the Kennen ult, that would be optimistic of me. Yeehan needs to find someone on the backside, but right now for OMG, hard to get past someone like Mole.
This is some nonsense that we're seeing. It's like a YouTube boxing fight between, let's say, I don't know, some random man off the street versus
Mike Tyson and the guy who sees a rat.
What?
That's all I can think about. You know the video I'm talking about, do you?
Absolutely. Oh, now I remember.
Yeah, I can't say the word because, you know, it's a swear word. So at this point, like, you're right, boxing match between a very skinny guy and Mike Tyson.
A professional fighter versus Kimbo Slice.
That's a better way.
Stuff like that.
That's a better way to put
Literally anybody that has laced up boots and gloves versus some person off the street that thinks they're, you know, very confident.
Yeah. Reminds me of a Hangover movie, to be honest, when Mike Tyson comes in.
I'm not saying about like anything bad about the OMG players right now, but the just the composition that they have is very much we could hold on into this state, but they were not able to hold on. Unless if, let's say, if there's a miracle team fight that, you know, Curse can pull off with his electrocute Kennen, if he can find it, like just find somebody in the back line.
Yeah.
But the issue here is that Max has just been with the squad at all times. That they've been grouped up, and Kennen cannot find that backline damage on the AD carry. So it's just so much difficulty there from OMG, and very well aware of the situation. Victory 5 is denying Curse from ever finding that engage.
And also remember, with electrocute, you don't have the phase rush where you can reposition. So much lockdown here from V5 that summoner makes it even more difficult for Curse. He's not looking for damage, he's looking for the positioning in the fight. Right now, Windy with his ultimate is looking more successful at finding that engage instead.
I'll give him one shot right now. Icon being able to pick up rapid fire cannon gives him in a very good position at this stage. So just off the farm alone, but
not if they find the engage. Flash burnt from Kane, or rather wasn't. He just walked out. That was a flash burnt from Windy, excuse me. V5 pulled off the Baron, while you can see Mole down in the side lane, still pushing for that turret.
Yeah, they don't have to go for anything like that. Victory 5 are in a very comfortable position of what's happening on the bottom left side of your screen right now.
Ben4's found Yeehan, the 1v1, jungle v jungle. In comes Max into the backside, brings Y4 with him. Jungle goes down. Ben4 now, and we look at the bottom side, and Mole trying to outplay into Icon. The Realm Warp, he can't flash in time. Icon is a big machine, but you've lost your 2 topside members on OMG.
At least, they were able to pick up Ryze, right? Ryze was just a constant threat in the side lane that they needed to be able to lot someone for. But maybe they can look to contest. They're not making that choice, sadly enough. They took too much damage with Yeehan and Curse going down. But it just felt so bad for OMG. Yep. They were losing up the fight on the top side of the map, and Ryze was unrelenting down bot side.
So Baron picked up in the end, though. 25-second death timer on Mole. As we'll take a look back, because at this point, Mole got the turret and wanted more.
Okay. That stopwatch was actually incredibly good.
And he did take Curse.
He took a lot of time on that one. So that was a well-done job there from Curse to be able to buy as much time as possible.
Yeah. This game becoming more and more about Icon. On to the 4th item now for the Corki. And
there we go.
As you presented before, that window there for OMG, delaying the game and getting that gold to a point where it doesn't matter, is going to be advantageous for OMG, but that clock is still such a big factor.
So while it is close to a 10k gold advantage for Victory 5, in the back of your minds, you have to be concerned. If you lose one team fight, Kane and Icon have such great range and have such great scaling to their name in the competition. Whenever you talk about scaling in comp, you start to look about range, and that's certainly a range advantage there for both the Sivir and the Corki. So, you know, you have to end it here, my take.
But if they can find Hudie on the back of this, then for V5, still a lot of elements of control. It's not like they're giving up anything anytime soon. Icon in a dangerous position, but still having the Valkyrie means he can push out, he can save the inhibitor turret, because that for OMG is a big fear. The base getting broken even more means that this game is all but a short for V5.
Take a look at the top lane minion wave. No one's being attending to it, but at least there's a large wave starting to pool up there for Victory 5. It'll take some time before it starts crashing on the inhibitor.
Yihan, however, looking for a flank Raz, and this is another concern. Windy walking away, not able to find anything. They barge into the bottom lane inhibitor that's been open for a while. With the Baron buff minion, OMG going to give this one up.
Yeah, there's so much focus on trying to get something through mid lane. They just completely miss out on what was happening on the bottom side of the map. So trying to speed this one up so they can pick on the mid lane inhibitor tower.
They might have found Icon into the middle. Ben 4 gets picked off a little bit, gets low. Icon the same boat though, and Y4 looking for that poke damage to get out. Now with Icon low, he's going to have to back away.
Now that top lane wave is getting closer and closer, larger and larger. If you are OMG, you want to tend to it now before you lose that inhibitor. Windy's going to it.
They clear out the mid lane. Windy's there now. Baron going to push out. Yihan between lanes, clearing off vision. For V5, they're in a good position to run into the base, but now with Icon healed back up, this gets even more dangerous.
Here we go. At least Sivir's putting in a lot of work there. Cleared up that top lane wave.
Can't deal with Mole, though. They need two people to contest this mid lane while Mole keeps hammering away. Top lane, remember, they got triple ocean. V5 can disengage and re-engage afterwards.
Yihan feels so confused in this situation.
On Icon, the burst comes down. V5 found the miracle fight. Rather, they found the fight they've been waiting for. A double kill over to Y4. He picks up the inhibitor along the way, and Windy has gone walkabout, while V5 still have what it takes to end the game. But onto Max, he forced the flash. Ben 4 and Y4 low as well, and Yihan gets it with a Prey Seeker. Snipes him out. Kane tries to do the same thing. Windy over the wall, needs to go. But the Lightning Maelstrom comes in. He needs a good Kingslayer, Raz. If he can find onto Yihan, he heals up so damn well. But the Void Rush in the end takes his life as Mole just going to have to walk away as well.
But this is how difficult it is for Victory 5 to just put a seal on it. They can't do it. They got the inhibitor, thankfully. But through all of that skirmishing and fighting, they lost 2 members off the back of it. Just based off of Sivir's and Icon's crit alone, take a look at this, because my god, that was a lot of damage. They were able to take down Corki immediately.
Yep.
But to follow it up, Olaf took a bunch of damage and didn't find a way to be able to get out. Even harder for Max, who put himself in a position to save him out. So yeah, both your backline taking a heaps amount of damage and just didn't see the ricochet damage really piling up.
One of the biggest fears right now, Raz, for
And then
V5.
we don't want to see this, please. No, I don't want.
He tried.
Yeah, he couldn't go over the wall.
Almost killed Yihan in the process, but a good Void Rush in the end. Will get that kill in response. He even saves his own life. So right now, you mentioned before the ricochet damage coming through. Kane has himself a last whisper. There are so many issues that V5 are running into, and it's getting worse and worse as this clock counts down. Why are we zooming in?
Just piling up the wave.
Fair
It's
enough.
smart.
Yep.
One of those situations that not a lot of teams end up really thinking about is how large your wave can get when it starts getting into that final crash, especially with double super minions coming through from both, from top lane and mid lane, bottom lane, that is. So, starting to pull it up right now. If you see, both the top lane minion wave and bottom lane were grouping up at the same time. But Corki, smart enough, were able to take that top lane minion wave out of the equation. And so all of that hard work Victory 5 put into piling up the wave didn't amount to much. But it's still great to see.
Yes. I was going to say, though, Icon still clears it instantly. So the fear here for V5 is that Icon's still in the fight as he pokes out Max, saves the inhibitor for now. That is a 4-item Corki in the flesh. Oh my
god, help. Y4 got blasted.
Kane walking forward as well. On the hunt's been procced. On the hunt for the side of V5 as well. Windy uses his own. They get the mid lane inhibitor. But now, how do they end this game?
Yeah, they need to do exactly what they were trying to do last time around, but you now have double super minions crashing through. Group them up at the same time and send them rolling, because at this point, yeah, Kane and Icon can protect as long as humanly possible.
Yeah. Remember as well, Windy is level 16 on the side of V5. He's going to get all 5 ultimates the longer this goes.
They should be able to see this. At some point, he'll go through a way. Oh, no. Here we go.
Curse over the wall. No! Fails the flash! key moment for OMG's top laner wasted as V5 now turn to fight themselves onto Hudie, but OMG aren't low enough just yet. They turn over to Curse, they flash forward and Y4 picks him up. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight in the base gets poked out. Windy on the engage onto Icon. Kane and Icon now trying to burst them out as Yihan is just getting free fired by Y4. The Varus starts sending away the shipment of goods delivered, and OMG sent back to the fountain. V5 get given the game, it feels like, in the end, but ultimately deserve it against OMG, who's still trying to defend. They rely on Icon. Windy now on top of the Corki, tries to negate the damage. He might die himself, but they've given them enough time. They flash forward onto Icon. It is OMG who gets set packing in the end. The Nexus still available though, Raz. We need to see Ben 4 kiting around. He hits once, he hits twice. He's trying to kill the Olaf, but eventually the Undertow does it. Ben 4 seals the deal, and Yihan, his face is in his hands.
You have to feel heartbroken, dog. You'll never smile after that situation. Me, I will have a permanent angry face.
Yeah.
Like, that is never a good situation to be in, where you're fighting back. You're starting to hear that Rocky music, man. And then that play will be remembered for a very long time.
It started with one moment from Curse in the top lane, and it seemed like OMG just got to that point where they could fight back, they could negate all lanes shoving it at once, but
I fully believe they would be able to fight that back.
Yeah.
Now, just, of course, it always comes down to one mistake, just any mistake. Even if it's a small, I got autoed by Varus type of deal, right? Because of the crit chance that's up and available at that point. It allows you to start going back to the double super minion wave coming through, because OMG could team fight. They had the range that I talked about, but they were looking for that big moment, and I liked it. I was only concerned of maybe he would be caught in vision, but that wasn't even the case.
no.
He just couldn't execute.
It was a fail flash over the wall. We'll delve into that a little bit more, because it was Icon and Kane that got to the point where they were almost unkillable, where Mole had such a good showing in the mid game, but the late game was Icon and Kane's. It was OMG's.
Yeah, so I don't want to... Whenever it comes to moments like these, you focus so much on those 30 seconds that you forget about the rest of the game, because the rest of the game for Victory 5 were just exceptional. Specifically Mole. If anyone's going to get MVP for this one, it's going to be Mole, based off his Ryze performance. I was able to back them up when they were picking up Baron, being able to pull so much pressure in 2 other situations through mid lane and bottom lane. He's just saying, come at me. I'll take you all. 2v1, 3v1 situations he was actually making good on.
Yep.
So, outside of what happened in the last 30 seconds, Mole was a god, should be respected as one,
True.
and he's carrying that performance that he had from the BLG days as one of the most respected, I guess, a mid laner.
Top laner, mid laner. I mean,
But
I'm
he
not sure.
is a fabulous player for this team
Yes.
that should be starting consistently.
Alongside someone like Y4 as well, I think was a very good performance. Windy there too, maybe a silent hero in both games as well.
Yeah.
But that game for V5,
You know who's a very loud hero?
yes. Who? Oh, you
That
said
flash
who?
noise.
Yeah, that was loud.
Yeah, that was loud.
So let's break that down a little bit. Or let's, I don't know
How do you break it
that.
down?
Not spotted on vision. And Curse, like that one flash, he gets that ulti. I think he gets 2, he gets 3.
No, okay, so the best thing about that situation, you'll look back at it and it makes it you even feel worse, because Victory 5 were actually completely separated there.
Yeah.
The 3 people that were on the left side, that was a great call to be able to flash over there for them. That's a great team fight. OMG as a team can start moving and trying to take the fight from the left side clean out, especially if you have that as a team that doesn't have that frontliner anymore, right? You have Rek'Sai and Kennen, those are your frontliners.
Yeah.
And they were able to get, if they were able to get that ultimate, you make them work. Now, that doesn't mean they just win the game. Just people out there know. It just means that they have hope. They can defend for the next inhibitors to come up, and they start to push through.
Yep.
Baron was up too. You're right. There was a lot on the table, and it didn't happen. But those are the moments that will eat at you. And remember, Curse is a rookie who's been fabulous so far this split. And in those moments, usually define them. People will start like throwing flame at him in social media.
The haymakers, yep.
A haymaker will probably come from his coach.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, generally speaking, this will be something that he will remember, and I don't want that to be the case, because for me, what I want to remember are all the fabulous moments he's had throughout, not just this series, but I think, generally speaking, the last series that he had with his Rogue Warriors and all of that. But I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to go to bed.
Yep.
And all I'll be hearing and seeing are flash noises, the
Kennen
flash
flash.
animation, everything.
That's upsetting. It's a little bit upsetting, Raz, but either way, end of the day, V5 pick up a 2-0.
Yes, they do.
Doesn't matter about the second game, it was the 2-0 for V5. Good prediction for you, by the way. And Nigeria on
That's
top
true.
of that as well. So.
And guess who's the leader in the
It's you by 2
predictions
points. I don't want to talk about that. But what I wanted to talk about before I completely stumble over it is the match of the week coming up next. FPX and RNG. Short break, then we return with the absolute extravaganza that we're going to take you through right after this.